zombies, man. You know, what's up, brother? You believe in the Bible? Huh? You got a minute for the word? Come on, let me holler at you real quick. 1 minute, brother. Come on. You love the Lord, you love God, you got 1 minute for the Bible, right? Huh? 1 minute, brother. Come on now. Everybody say they love the Lord too. We say, hey man, we got the Bible open. What church you go to that's gonna have the Bible open?
Actually, I haven't gone to our physical church in probably like a month. I just recently moved to Georgia, so I gotta reestablish like a church.
Right, so you really like to go to like Christian church, or Baptist, Catholic, or something like that?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this: when you inside of your church and the pastor up there speaking, do he tell you anything about God? Who is God's people today? Give me that there. See that? That's what the churches, they don't teach our people that. They don't teach our people who are the people of the Bible. Because the Bible speaks about a certain people from the beginning, from Genesis all the way to Revelation. Certain people. It ain't talking about everybody in the world. But everybody, what they do, they accumulate themselves to the judge of the Bible. But the Bible is only written for certain people, to a certain people, and tell them what they got to do. And churches don't teach that. Right? The Bible teaches about a certain people called the so-called Israelites of the Bible. You ever heard of the Israelites? God's chosen people? I read that real quick. These people on this sign, if you look on this sign, y'all brothers too, point out where y'all at, go your father on this sign right here. Because if you're on this sign, you are an Israelite according to the Bible. And we can prove that these people are Israelites. But your church, they won't tell you this. They won't tell you this. But this is the biggest kept secret in the world. Because look, as soon as Kyrie Irving, all he did was post a link. He didn't say a word. He didn't give his opinion. All he did was post a link. And what happened to him? He got crucified. Why you put that up there? Because it's a secret. Because as soon as you black people start finding out, or Hispanic people start finding out that that documentary is talking about you, they don't want you to know that. This is the big kept secret. Why Kyrie Irving? Why he got to go to pay all this money? He got to apologize. Why he got to do all this stuff? Yeah, because he's showing the people who are the real people or the real Jews. It's like Kanye West. He was saying the same thing. The black people are the 12 tribes of Israel. They don't want the society to know that, because once y'all start waking up and knowing who y'all are according to the Bible, all these prophecies in the Bible gonna start coming to pass. Read that real quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 16. There's no end of all the people.
What did God say?
There's no end of all the people.
God said there's no end of all the people. The people that was in the Bible walking across the Red Sea with Moses, they still on the earth today. As long as people keep having babies and migrate, the kids gonna still be here. Right? Read it again.
There's no end of all the people.
Read.
Even of all that have been before them.
Even the ones that been before us. We here on the earth today. Who are the descendants of Christ? Who are the descendants of Moses? Who are the descendants of Jeremiah? All these people in the Bible. Who are they descendants? They y'all today walking the earth. But the churches won't tell you this. They won't teach this to you. Give me back in Romans 13 and that. So where you see yourself, where y'all brothers see yourself at on this sign? But these are the tribal, these are the byword names of our people, and these are the names that God called us in the Bible.
I'm Haitian.
Huh?
I'm Haitian.
You Haitian, so you'll be a Levite. You'll be from Aaron and Moses, the priestlyhood.
Okay.
Right? Where you see yourself, brother?
I'm actually, I think called Judah, but I know that Gad, is that your name?
Yeah. What's your father?
His father?
Read that. You know what I want. Because, you know, just like you got your dog right here, right? And people breed pit bulls and all kind of dogs. And people say, this dog right here is the bloodline of this champion dog. And people say, I want to see the papers of the dog. Before I buy it, this dog worth $10,000. I want to see the lineage or the papers of the dog. So that's how God's going to read that.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1 and verse 18.
Watch this, brother.
And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees.
A pedigree is like a dog. He have a pedigree, your lineage, right? By how?
After their families, by the house of their fathers.
So whatever your father is, that's whatever you is. Whatever his father is, that's what he is. Because if I take an apple seed and plant it in the ground, what is going to come out? What kind of tree going to plant out? Apple. And I take that same seed, take one in Jamaica, one in China, one in Africa. I plant that same seed, what is still going to come out? An apple tree. It ain't going to come out a Chinese apple tree. It's still going to be an apple tree. So that's just like the men. We carry the seed. Whatever seed we put our seed in, any woman out here, she can be black, Chinese, African, whatever, that baby still gonna come out the lineage or whatever the father is. And when people go around saying, I'm a little bit of this, I'm a little bit of that, that's confusion. That's what people want, everything to everybody's nationality to be confused so you don't know you this. So when you come up, you're gonna say, I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But God say, no, you return your pedigree by the house or whatever your father is. That's how he keep up with the races and the nationality of people. Because we don't go by color. Because a lot of people say, y'all just all about black people. No, we ain't about color. You can be light-skinned, white-looking, it don't matter. It's all about your nationality, whatever your father is. Right? Because this brother, look at, it's his brother right here, and that's his son. You would never think that was his son if you didn't look at him, and the only way you would know because he said, this is my son. Right? So these people come in all kind of colors, shades, from dark to light to chocolate. Right? So what, if you don't know the race of your father, you think he's from Gad, Native American Indian?
No, so like from what I've been told, that's just what my dad told me.
Okay. Well, we'll label you, you'll be from the tribe of Gad right here. You'll be an Israelite from the tribe of Gad. This brother will be an Israelite from the tribe of Levi. Right? Did you see yourself on that, brother? Your father?
I'm Indian.
So you'll be from the tribe of Gad too, right? Right. So that's all praise. Well, we got two brothers from the tribe of Gad. It's hard to find brothers from the tribe of Gad. Right? Most of the people we speak to is like Hispanic or African American now. But all of y'all will be labeled Israelites according to the Bible. According to how do we know? We go to Genesis chapter 49 and read all the prophecies of what happened to these people. Go back to Deuteronomy 28 real quick. All right, hold on. Let this brother give you a flyer so you can look up some more information. Give him a brother a flyer.
You brothers got YouTube?
Yeah, we got a YouTube channel.
That's the name of Negro and Indian?
No. Our YouTube channel is called, it's No Cap Street Wars. It's N-O-K.
Try to just pass him a flyer as well too.
Yeah, but I don't think the thing's on it.
Oh,
YouTube channel.
you can look it up now.
Yeah, look it up, brother. Look up who are the 12 tribes of Israel. When you come to find out, look on YouTube, you're going to come to find out. It's talking about you and your wife.
Here you go, brother.
Yeah, the YouTube is amazing.
Huh?
Because you're saying
Write it down for him real quick. Somebody got a pen, write it on there. You got an ink pen? Write it down on there. But we have some flyers with the YouTube channel on there, but I think we ran out of them. Yeah, we out here every Saturday, man. We teaching the Bible, we telling the people because in the last days, which is now.
Huh? Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead. We answer all the questions.
What's the mark of the beast?
Oh, the mark of the beast is the RFID chip right here. That's what we believe. That's what we teach it is. Because when you look when you look up that word in Revelation chapter 13, it's called charisma. It's called like a mark or something embedded into your skin.
Isn't it like in the forehead or the right arm? It's gonna be.
Yeah. Because even if you look, they're gonna implement this soon. They're gonna put all your information on there, your banking information. You know, you're not gonna be able to buy or sell without this chip embedded inside it. And China and all of them, they kind of working on it now because China, they can discontinue like paper currency. You know, a lot of people, if you go to China, you can't be pulling out dollars. You have to pull out what they got is on their cell phone. You know, like when they go to the gas station and stuff, they just kind of take their phone and go boop, boop, boop. But they're going to take it out the cell phone and implement it into your right hand.
But I have a question too. Okay, because I'm Christian. And but I don't know if you guys know him. His name is Dan Calloway on YouTube.
yeah, I've heard of it.
You ever heard of him? Okay, so over here it's saying, we were teaching out of Africa, but he teaches that anyone that's black from America was never from Africa, period. We were all just here already. What do you, I'm sure you guys have studied on things like this. What's your saying?
Go to Luke chapter 21 real quick. I'm going to show you what really happened to the so-called Jews and Israelites. And then like when you read in the Zondervan and Compact Bible Dictionary, we got that on read that real quick on the Zondervan and Compact Bible Dictionary.
All right, so in one of this book called the Compact Bible Dictionary made by the Zondervans, in their definition of Ham, it says the youngest son of Noah, born probably around 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
Right, so the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it labeled like the sons of Ham would be a dark-skinned race of people, but not the Negroes. What do you mean not the Negroes? Okay. Not these people right here. Yeah. Because the scholars know that the so-called Negro people are the children of Israel, right? But they didn't come out specific and say, oh, not the Israelite Negroes, but they just said not the Negro. But like what he was saying, most of our people is from right here, it's called Jerusalem, which was part of Africa before they split it off. They put that little canal in the middle called the Suez Canal. That's a man-made canal. All of this was connected. Jerusalem and Africa, all of that was connected. So Jerusalem will probably be north of Africa. Right? So I'm going to show you in the Bible, how did we leave Jerusalem, migrated into Africa, to over into all these different lands. It's in the Bible. So start at 21. Luke 21:21. Start right there.
Luke chapter 21, verse 21.
So this Christ speaking. Flip that around. This red letter. This Christ talking. Right, go ahead.
Luke 21?
Yeah.
Luke 21 and 21.
Go ahead.
Then let them which are in Judea flee.
He said, let them, the Israelites that's in Judea, right? Go ahead.
To the mountains.
Flee into the where?
The mountains.
When he's talking about the mountains, he's talking about Africa. The same place where Christ, when he fled. When Christ was being, when they was looking for the baby Christ at 2 years old, where did he go? He went to Egypt, right? Mm-hmm. And he lived there from a baby all the way to maybe 13 or 14 years old. So if he was a white baby over here with all these dark-skinned people, they would have found him. He just blended in with the people. So this is Christ telling us to do the same thing. Go blend into the mountains or Africa, same place where the Messiah fled to, right? Go ahead.
And let them which are in the midst of thee depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto.
Right. So he's going to tell us why to leave Israel and going to the west Africa. Go ahead.
For these be the days of vengeance.
These are the days of vengeance. Go ahead.
That all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child.
Right.
And to them that give suck.
Right. Because it's going to be hard for the women to carry these babies. Because what was happening, the Roman army was coming over to take over Jerusalem. So Christ said, y'all got to get out of there. The Roman army finna come, they finna come persecute y'all, kill y'all, rob y'all, murder y'all. Get the hell up out of there. Go ahead.
In those days, for there shall be a great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people.
So he said it's going to be distress in that land and wrath coming upon the people. Go ahead.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
He said if we don't leave, we're going to do what?
Fall by the edge of the sword.
Right. All right. So when we fled into west shore of Africa, read on.
It shall be led away captive.
We're going to be what?
Led away captive.
We're going to be led away slaves in what?
Into all nations.
And as you see, like here, this diagram, we was led away slaves to every nation, everywhere, right? Brazil, you know, North Africa, South Africa, Mexico, you know, Panama, all over, right? Go ahead, keep reading.
And Jerusalem.
He said, and Jerusalem, right here, go ahead.
Shall be trodden down.
He said, Jerusalem going to be trodden down. That means that Jerusalem going to be lived by what?
Of all the Gentiles.
All right, the Gentiles going to take that land over. That's why you see the people in Israel today, them the Gentiles. That's not the real Jews there. Because we fled out of there into West Africa. Because if you look at the old map, I'm going to get this brother to pull up Negro land on your phone. Right, go ahead.
until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Read that part again.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive
Led away slaves, go ahead.
into all nations.
All the nations, go ahead.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
The Gentiles will be living in that land. Right. Go ahead and show him that. And give me Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 5. I'm going to show you that the Gentiles took over Jerusalem. And because when we fleed over here, if you look up some of the older maps, you will see that Africa had a place called Negro land. That's where we
That
lived.
was a map made in the 1700s.
Right. We lived in that land for hundreds of years. But then, like you Joel chapter. Go ahead and read Ezekiel chapter 36.
Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 5.
Because what Christ was prophesying, Ezekiel said the same thing. Go ahead.
Therefore thus saith the Lord God,
Uh-huh.
surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen,
He said he's speaking against the heathen, the 18 nations. Go ahead.
and against all Idumea.
Against all who?
Idumea.
When you look up that word Idumea, it's talking about Edom. You know who was Edom in the Bible? Sit there, because there's 18 races in the Bible outside of the Israelites. It's like the brother read earlier. There's no end to all the people. Yeah, that's it. Put it the right way. This is the table of nations of the 18 nations. So Edom right here would be the so-called white nation. When you look up that word Idumea in Greek, that's a Greek word. But when you look it up, it's translated to the word Edom. So read that part again.
Therefore thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea,
All Idumea, Edom, so-called white race, go ahead.
which have appointed my land,
They did what?
which have appointed my
They
land
took God's land, go ahead,
into their possession,
into their possession. So they possessing God's land today, go ahead.
with the joy of their heart,
They possessing it with the joy of all their heart. But they saying they the real Jews, they the real Israelites, go ahead.
with the spiteful
They
mind,
got what?
the spiteful
They
mind,
got spiteful minds, go ahead.
to cast it out for a prey.
Right, because they cast that land out for a prey. Because if you look at Jerusalem, they got all kinds of things going on in that land. They had the biggest gay parade, fornication going on in that land, all kind of stuff going on in that land. They going to war with the Palestinians back and forth. When God people come back to that land, ain't gonna be no more war in that land. It's gonna be peace in that land, quiet in that land. Everybody gonna rejoice in that land. That's why we know the people over there ain't the real Jews. Because the Bible say they're going to take that land. Keep any more on that? No, that's it. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to show you how that we flee, like Christ told us, go here and flee into that land. Go to Joel chapter. Start at verse 2. I'm going to show you how once we fled into these lands. Go ahead.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
This is the end time prophecy. That the Most High God said he's going to take all the nations and bring them back into the Middle East. Go ahead.
And will plead with them there for my people.
He's going to plead with them for who?
For my people.
For his people. Go ahead.
And for my heritage Israel,
For his people, the Israelites. Go ahead.
whom they have scattered among the nations.
They did what?
Scattered among the
Like
nations.
this time. We scattered amongst all nations. Right? Go ahead.
And parted my land.
They stole God's land. They parted his land. Go ahead.
And they have cast lots for my people.
When they say they cast lots for their people, that means they was mating them. Like breeding them like animals. Go ahead.
And have given a boy for a harlot.
They're giving them men for harlot because they was making more slaves, making them have sex with the women, they breeding them like animals. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine,
Sold the women for wine. Go ahead.
that they might drink.
Uh-huh.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Say what you gotta do for me, O Tyre and Zidon. When you look up those words of African nations or Hamite nations, when we lived in Africa, the African people rounded it up. Go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine.
Sold us to the Arab nations. Go ahead.
Will ye render me a recompense?
So God said, would y'all reckon me a revenge? Go ahead.
And if ye recompense me, Swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
He's going to pay them back for what he did to his people. Right, go ahead.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold,
They stole all the precious silver and gold out of Jerusalem. Go ahead.
and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Right, because when you look, they took all the scrolls out of Israel. They took everything, the menorahs. They stole everything out of there. Because why? Christ told us to get up out of there. Christ didn't say gather up everything and start taking it with y'all. He said leave. So when we left, these Gentile nations came in there and started stealing everything. That's why you see these white people that call themselves the Jews. That's why they know how to keep our customs to a T. That's why they know how to keep the Passover. They know the new moon. They know everything because they stole it from us. All the scrolls, everything. If you look at the scrolls, they got most of these scrolls still in Jerusalem right now. Right? Go ahead.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the
He
Grecians.
said after the Arabs sold it, they sold it to the who?
Unto the
The
Grecians.
Grecians is the so-called Greek, so-called white race. They sold us to the white race. That's why we got on this side of the world. But I'm going to show you, like you said, the past. I'm going to show you how he said that we was already here. Go ahead.
That ye might remove them far from their border.
They moved them where?
Far from their border.
Took us from our borders. Go ahead.
Behold, I will raise them out the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own
So
head.
that's what you see what's going on today. God said, I will raise them up. That's what we out here doing. We raising up the children of Israel back into their rightful place, right into their rightful ownership.
That's right.
Because like you say, your pastor, he ain't going to tell you this. He ain't going to teach you, hey, you got to come back to your rightful place. Take your rightful crown and put it back on your head because y'all gods of the earth walking around. Go ahead.
And I will sell your
You
sons,
going to do what to the Gentile nation?
and I will sell your sons,
So whatever they did to us, put us in shackles and chains, we're going to do the same thing to them. They going into slavery. All right, go ahead.
and your daughters
They're going to sell their daughters like they sold our daughters, our kids. Go ahead.
into the hand of the children of Judah,
Right, you're going to sell them to us, the Israelites. Go ahead.
and they shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off.
Now go to the second next. So I'm going to show you how some of these people, because when Christ was walking around the earth, these the only tribes was still in Jerusalem. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The rest of these tribes, they was already on this side of the earth. I'm going to show you how they got
And
there.
that was when you said? That was when?
When Christ was walking the earth. When Christ was out doing his ministry, preaching to people, it was a little remnant scattering of these people, but most of them, they was already gone.
How was that? That was through slavery, or they just?
Yeah, it was through the Assyrian captivity. You ever heard of all the
I know about it.
like the statue right here?
Yeah,
You got the statue, got all the captivities of the Israelites. The Babylonian captivity, the Persian Mede captivity, right? The Assyrian captivity, the Greek captivity, and the Roman captivity. But when you get down to the feet, this is the captivity here in America. This is the last captivity that the Israelites is going to go through when Christ made his second return. We went through the Babylonian captivity. These three tribes did. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then when you get to the Assyrian captivity, these tribes went into the Assyrian captivity, but they never came back to Israel. I'm going to show you where they went. All right, go ahead and read it.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10
These
tribes.
are the what?
10 tribes,
These are the 10 tribes right here, all the way down. Go ahead.
which were carried away prisoners out of their own
They
land
was carried away prisoners out of their own land. Go ahead.
in the time of Hosea the king,
Time of Hosea the king, the Syrian king. Go ahead.
whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria,
King of who?
king of Assyria,
King of Assyria. That was in the Assyrian captivity. Go ahead.
led away captive, and he carried them over the waters.
So what happened? After they left the Assyrian captivity, they let them go, but they didn't never go back to Jerusalem. What it means, they carried them over the water. That means they got into boats and ships. Go ahead.
And so came they into another
They
land,
went where?
into another
They
land.
went to another land where?
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the
They
heathen,
would leave that land. Go ahead.
and go forth into a further country
They'll go to another country. Go ahead.
where never mankind dwelt.
Well, where?
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where nobody ever lived before. They're going somewhere where no man ever lived when they got in these ships. And they try to make like Christopher Columbus discovered all these lands, but these people was already here when he got here. And you can go to the history channels and all of that, and you can see like the native and all of them was already in this land. The Israelites, they was already here. Go ahead.
That they might there keep their
So
statutes,
when they left, they're gonna go to another land and keep God's commandments. Go ahead.
which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into Euphrates.
Into where?
Euphrates.
Entered into the Euphrates River, right? The river going around here, the Euphrates River. Go ahead.
By the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood,
Stop the water from being current, still eddy when they was going through. Go ahead.
till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to
It
go,
was a long way to travel to another land. Right, go ahead.
namely of a year and a
How
half.
long did it take them to get here?
A year and a half.
Them a year and a half to get over here by ship. Go ahead.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
Same reason it's called who?
Arsareth.
Arsareth. Look that up real quick. That place was called Arsareth. When we gonna look, he gonna look up that word. It's talking about the America. The America. So that like these people, they was already on this side of the world. And it's a book
the Assyrian.
through the Assyrian captivity. When they went through the Assyrian, they never went back to Jerusalem. So when Christ was walking on the earth, these people was already out of here. Only people was on here was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi when Christ was walking the earth. When he was out teaching his ministry, these people was already exiled out of here. Right? Only these three tribes were still in the land. There was a little small remnants of them still there.
Yeah.
All of them,
What about
some of them stayed, but most of them left.
Oh, well, you said that was
Yeah, most of them left. You got that word?
Yeah.
Read it.
All right, you'll find this in the Jewish Encyclopedia. Is the definition of Arsareth, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell,
Where the 10 tribes of Israel will go ahead.
observing the laws of Moses.
They kept the laws of Moses. That's why when you go look at the History Channel and they talking about the Native Americans and they finding all these like Hebrew stones and stuff all around, because these stones was found, 800 stones were found in Puerto Rico, Hebrew stones. But if you look in like New Mexico, they found like stones over there, stones in Ohio, stones in Utah. How are they getting all these Hebrew writings and stones all over from the native people? Because we was always here before Christopher Columbus and the so-called white people came over here and took this land over. Go ahead, finish reading.
Observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration,
To the time of Christ. Go ahead.
according to 4th Esdras chapter 13 verse 45, which is what I was reading over here. Columbus identified America with this land.
Hold on. That's how Columbus found this land. A lot of people don't know Columbus. He found this land by reading the Bible. Because I forgot the name of that movie. It's called with Columbus.
1492.
1492, yeah. And they was asking him. He telling them, man, I'm gonna go to this land. And they like, how you gonna go on there? You don't even know if there's another land out there. And they asked Columbus, how you know? He said, the book of Esdras. The book of Esdras. Telling us that it's another land. But a lot of people that watch that movie, they just go over their head. Go ahead and read that.
No, that was the end of that.
You would say what the land was called.
Yeah, it said Columbus identified America with this land.
Yeah, Columbus identified America. So also that land that they came to was all the Americans, like Puerto Rico, Mexico, all the way down to Brazil.
North America to
All
South America.
North America to South America. That's where all the 12 tribes went. That's why
10 tribes.
Yeah, the 10 tribes. That's why we label, you see all these labels, got a lot of Latinos on there because they live between these lands. Not only because of Ezra, because we can go to Genesis 49 and it'll tell you all these people are at. You go to Genesis 49, Revelation chapter 7, Deuteronomy chapter 33. It'll tell you the lands where these people would live. And when you identify these lands, you'll come to find out that it's all over here in the South America all the way up to North America.
You guys said y'all here every Saturday?
Yeah, we here every Saturday. here every Sabbath, man. What's your name? Alex. Okay, I'm Brother Ruler. Yeah, so we teach stuff that the church won't even tell y'all. They don't think it's very important, but it is very important for our people to know this stuff. Because, hold on, before you read, let me read one scripture for you. Give me Psalms 82 and 6. Because this what y'all brothers are. This how the Most High God look at y'all. Go ahead, read that.
Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6. I have said.
What did God say?
I have said. Ye are gods.
We are what?
Ye are gods.
Y'all gods on the earth, man. Y'all the children of Israel. We gods on the earth. Why are we calling us gods? Because we got the knowledge of the scripture. We can break them down easy. Go ahead.
And all of you are the children of the Most High.
We the children of the Most High God. Go ahead.
But ye shall die like men.
We gonna do what?
Die like men.
We gods, but we gonna die like men. Why you say we gonna die like men? Because we broke all the commandments of God. We broke the commandments. So now people, we just die like regular people now. But we supposed to be originally gods on the earth. But when Christ come back and make his second return, and he give us those celestial bodies, we're gonna be back gods ruling the earth again, all over again.
That's right.
When you read that in Revelation chapter 21, Revelation chapter 11, he's going to give us all new bodies, and we're going to be ruling the earth as the Israelites. Everybody going to be in the kingdom of heaven, because people always asking that, well, what about the other people? Yeah, they're going to be in the kingdom of heaven too. But the thing about it, we're going to be governing the kingdom of heaven. We're going to be the government of the kingdom of heaven. And we're going to have those uncorruptible bodies that's going to never die. But the other nations, they're going to die in the kingdom of heaven. Other people, like the other races, they're going to die, but they're going to be create habitation. That's how the kingdom, because the kingdom of heaven gonna be here on the earth where we live in today. When it's talking about the kingdom of heaven, when it means heaven, that means rulership. That's what heaven means. When you in hell, what that means? You're on the lower state. Heaven means a higher state. Hell means a lower state. That's why a lot of people say, now I'm going through all kind of hell, because they're on the lower state. Heaven ain't, it's a third dimension heaven where the Most High dwell at. But when he establishes his kingdom, he's going to establish it right here on the earth. We're going to be the governing body that's going to make sure all these people stay in control. People out here walking around today, because today is the Sabbath day of the Lord. We're going to govern to make sure that people ain't out there walking around. Everybody going to come up on the Sabbath day to worship God.
That's right.
Everybody going to be like, let me go to the park, walk the dog, walk the Everybody going to, on a certain day, they got to do something. Watch this, I'm going to show you on the Saturday. That's why we tell people when you go to church on Sunday, that's the wrong day. Let me read this one scripture and I'm going to let y'all go. I know y'all have
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 22. For as the new heavens.
So you say, as the new heaven. Heaven going to be right here. And the Israelites going to govern it. Go ahead.
And the new earth.
And the new earth. Heaven going to be on earth. Go ahead.
Which I will make. Shall remain before me, saith the Lord.
Say who?
Saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. Go ahead.
So shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another.
Read it kind of slow. What?
From one new moon to another.
So these are feast days. From one new moon to another. Go ahead.
And from one Sabbath to another.
And one Sabbath to the next one. Go ahead.
Shall all flesh.
And what?
Shall all flesh.
Do what?
Come to worship before me.
Everybody coming up to worship on the Sabbath day to the Lord. Everybody ain't gonna be walking around the park doing what they want to do, riding bikes. This guy over here fixing his car. And people ain't gonna be doing that. Everybody gonna have to come up on the Sabbath day and worship the Lord. Everybody. Every man, every child, everybody gonna bow their knee to the Lord every Sabbath. Read on. If they don't, what's gonna happen to them?
Saith the Lord, and they shall go forth.
And then we're going to go forth. Go ahead.
And look upon the carcasses.
You know what's a carcass? It's a dead body. We're going to go forth after the Sabbath day and look at the dead bodies of what?
Of the men.
Of the men and women what?
That have transgressed against me.
That don't want to come up on the Sabbath. God going to remind you, you don't want to come up, you're going to die. You're going to go up and look at all the dead people. Like these people, if they didn't want to come up, they're going to die. On the Sabbath day. So every man, every child, and we're going to make sure it happens. Us, the Israelites.
That's
these
right.
people on this sign. Y'all. But the only way y'all, it's not only to know you're an Israelite, you got to start applying. Because once you start applying the law, statutes, and commandments, Because we are the light to the rest of the world, the Gentile. How are the other nations going to know how to come up to worship God if we don't teach? We got to teach the other nations how to worship God because they don't know. That's our job, God's people. Once he show us, we teach our brothers and sisters, then we teach the rest of the nation. So when Christ come back and make his second return, everybody's going to be in order. Everybody. All right, brother. Come up next week, man, if you got some more questions. Get all the questions, write them down. We answer all the questions, brother. We answer. Give me Zechariah chapter 14. 14 and verse 16. Because we're going to show y'all that all nations going to have to worship the Lord. Every man, every woman, every child. And if they don't, they're going to die. And like I brought out, they're going to die. Read that.
I got it.
Read it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 16. And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left,
everyone that's left after the destruction, after everything gets torn down and built back up by the Gentile nations, go ahead.
Of all the nations which came against Jerusalem,
came against the children of Israel, go ahead.
Shall even go up from year to year.
They're going to come up every year. Right, go ahead.
To worship the King.
They're going to worship God, the King, Yahweh. Right, go ahead.
The Lord of hosts. And to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
They're going to do what?
Keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Everybody got to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. Every man, every woman, everybody, right? Read on.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Right, there ain't going to be no rain. When there's no rain, there's no water, there's no food, there's no habitation, there's no vegetarian. You're going to die.
That's right.
You're going to die if you don't want to come up and worship the King. Right? Keep reading.
And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen.
Right, the Lord going to kill them, man. We're going to kill them if y'all don't want to worship. Go ahead.
That come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of nations that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right, so if the nations don't want to come up and worship God, the Most High say they're going to punish. They're going to be punished. Whoever don't want to come up and serve God, God say you're going to be punished.
That's right.
Right? He reads.
In that day shall there be upon the bells of the horses holiness unto the Lord.
Right.
And the pots in the Lord's house shall be like the bowls before the altar.
Right, let me get a couple more precepts real quick. Go to Psalms 83. Go to Psalms 83. And then somebody give me Proverbs 29. Read Proverbs 29.
29:1?
Yeah.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck.
Right, our people got a hard, stiff, hard neck. Right, go ahead.
Shall suddenly be destroyed.
They're going to be what?
Suddenly be
You
destroyed.
don't want to keep God's commandment, you're going to be destroyed. Right, read.
And that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority.
When the righteous people come back to their nationality and rule this world, right? Go ahead.
The people rejoice.
People do what?
The people rejoice.
People gonna rejoice, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
But when the wicked beareth rule,
And that's what's going on today. The wicked is ruling the earth today. Go ahead.
the people mourn.
The people are in mourning, man. That's why you see the earth in so much distress today. Climate control, homosexuality, bestiality, all kind of fornication, everything going on earth because the wicked is in control. Right, so read Psalms 83. Start at verse 2.
Psalms chapter 83 and verse 2. But lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Right, the enemies of God Make a big gathering. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee
They hate us, right? Go ahead.
have lifted up their head.
Keep going.
They have taken crafty counsel against our people.
Right, that's what they do. They take crafty counsel against the children of Israel. Go ahead.
And have consulted against our hidden one.
Right, because they hid everything that belonged to our people. Right, go ahead.
They have said, come and let us cut them off.
What they say?
They have said, come and let us cut them off.
They said, let us cut them off. Go ahead.
From being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
That's why these people down here don't know they're the Israelites. Because they cut off from the